Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we're going to be doing a preview for Lync's the Crystalborn, a new 70 cost unit coming to global this week. And 70 cost units tend to have those nice banners you can pull them on for pretty cheap. Lync's the Crystalborn in 0.5% font has a special little message that I missed in the news video this morning. It says Lync's the Crystalborn, I gotta like squint to read this, can be purchased via a purchasable pack in the festival shop. So there's going to be some flat dollar amount or flat paid Visior amount that we're going to be able to use to just get this unit without pulling. That's pretty cool. And in fact, I think what I'm going to do for her is make her a featured thing on my new player account. I'm going to build into water, make a water based account, maybe do some like missiles. I thought about also doing pierce. There's, good piercing units in the game right now, but water as my featured element for my new account sounds pretty fun. There was another contributing factor to me deciding to go that route as well, and that's if we look at the upcoming schedule for units. Here's the units we don't have in global up here towards the top, and notice that this water unit right here is the Veritas of water. So we'll be getting her for free, I assume, and we'll be able to build her up like we can build the Wind Veritas right now. She is a mage with some really good support abilities in there. This isn't a preview video for her, but it again kind of pushed me towards doing water with my new account and see how far I can take that, how quick I can take it, taking advantage of all those like new player banners, those tickets, things like that. So look forward to that if you want to see it. This is a video about Lync. So let's talk about her. 70 cost Crystalline Archer Ranger Axe Knight. The Ranger sub job is the awkward one here for me. Yes, it's another ranged job, but Axe Knight is a good one and I really like what it does for her. Her TMR Robe of Twilight is cloth armor with, pretty mid stats, but the buff is very interesting. First of all, it gives you slash resistance 25%. Then, this could be mistranslated, but this is what it says. I'm going to read you what this says. It says gives slash resist penetration for 3 turns. If that is what it does, if this gives you slash resist penetration for 3 turns, that's amazing, but I don't think that's what it is. See how there's this negative right here? I think what this actually does is it gives you the ability to take slash resist penetration away from your opponent, and I think that's what that negative right there means. I've been fooled by this in the past, but I believe even though this reads like it seems like it's giving you slash resist penetration, I believe what it actually does is takes 30 away from your opponent, which is pretty cool if you're stacking slash resistance on yourself and your group. So it's a neat TMR. I'll probably take advantage of it a little bit. On my alt account, we'll see. Her master ability is the group buff, of course, missile attack resist pin 15. I like that. HP 5%. They could have hooked her up with a little more there if I'm being honest, but she does get 15 AoE resist, 30 reaction block rate, which will scale really nicely with some trust stones, and an upgrade to her block weak phalanx attack. Okay, diving into her stats a little bit. An area where she is 70 cost is her speed, even when she's like level 140, is only 64. That's at the lower end of like newer UR units. It's not bad. It's not like Eileen back in the day bad, but it's also just not a ton. Now she can enhance her own agility, which will help her out a lot. With her support abilities, Fargo's archery is going to give her 40 defense pin. You're going to need defense penetration on this unit for sure, and it increases her range by 2. This is a very good support ability on most maps in the game. I will still die on the hill that you don't always want 2 more range on your ranged units, because sometimes that can bait them into getting in range too early. She can help herself with that though, because if we go down to Shinobi's Pride, she has an agility steroid, which she's really gonna like. She has reaction block rate 35 that puts her at 65, which is the support ability and her master ability. You throw a trust stone in there, she's not getting reflex, she's not getting reacted to, and that's fantastic. This also decreases her move by 1. That might seem like a debuff, but if you're stacking range on a ranged unit and you want them to do a couple turns worth of buffs, you need to drop their movement a little bit. This is another unit as well. You throw a bow tie on her, take her movement down by even 1 more, and she's really going to stick to the back lines. So I like this. I like this quite a bit. And if you want to go max range, she does have Hunter's Tips right there for even more range. She has an attack steroid, which would be good for like PvE situations. And then she has missile attack with skill activation time buff. There is one scenario where I think this is pretty good. And then she has HP and elemental chain resist. I think for the most part, you're going to run Fargo's archery with Shinobi's Pride for PvP. Counter moves are interesting for her. She has reflex. So this is, if you just want the safest one to run reflex. It's really good. She does have a preemptive damage counter though, but it is like, it's that awkward range thing, right? Like she has to be either 3 or 4 spaces away, not less than that and not more than that. So I don't love those. And it also is going to be affected by her range up. So it's kind of weird. I think reflex is probably just the way to go there. Okay, her new job. So Kari Katsuya, this move right here, it's her cheat move, only costs 14 AP, has 5 uses, does suffer from the missile unit range thing where they can't hit stuff close to them with a bow and arrow for some reason. Does 121% damage, and she gets AP recovery when she kills a unit with it, so not bad. She has a great self buff right here that gives 20 water attack up and gives her a damage reducing distance-based damage reduction. I guess that's what I want to say, for both physical and magic. So from 3 to 7, minimum range 4, max range 7 for 3 turns. I don't know why it says 3 here and 4 here, but basically if somebody's in that range and doing damage to her, she will take less. So it'll make her tankier while also making her do more damage. She has a move here that dispels courage, which is great, 200% modifier, and is a guaranteed hit move. That's fantastic. I'm happy they just threw that in there. It really makes it so you don't need to run that other ranged sub job that she has, because you would run that for the guaranteed hit. Sharpshoot, don't need to now. She has a much better version of that right here. Her group buff is amazing. Now, let me say a couple things about this. First, let's read the buff. Let's just read the buff first. It has a nice big AoE of 2, right? It's a diamond-shaped AoE buff. I love those. It increases single target resist for 4 turns on your group by 20. That by itself is amazing. It also gives 20 crit damage to your allies, and for herself, she gets elemental chain resist down while restoring some AP. Thinking about this unit, if you are going to drop her movement to 2 or 1, that's going to mean you want other people moving to her to receive buffs. So keep that in mind, right? You might have to set it up where your teammates run to her, because if you make her movement down, she's not going to be able to run to them. However, if you take her movement down to only 2, because the range on this buff is big, she might be able to just move 2 spaces and still buff somebody. You're going to want her to use her self buff, either this one, or she might even have a better one that we'll talk about here in a minute. Okay, weakened crossbow that gets upgraded twice. Let's talk about this move. Hits in a square. This was previewed in the client, I believe. So let's look at it there. If we go into the client where we can get a little more info here, it's this move here, which deals large damage to targets within range and seals debuffs for 3 turns. So seals debuff for 3 turns, that's what that not translated effect is, and it gets upgraded to also restore AP when she crits. It's 32 AP as a move, but if you get 10 AP back, it only costs you 22. So I like that. I think that's pretty neat. It's a big modifier. I think the AI will use this move quite a bit. Then if she doesn't want to do AoE damage, she does have a multi-select single target move. 2 targets, 165% modifier, dispels buffs, haste, damage increases, decreases reflect rate by 50. I don't know what that means. I actually have zero idea what decreased reflect rate by 50 means for the target. Oh no. Also nullifies physical damage for 3 turns for target, nullifies magic damage for 3 turns, and nullifies haste. You might think, wait, it already said it does those things. No, no, no. This debuffs them. This prevents them from getting it for 3 turns. So if she knocks haste off somebody, they can't be re-hasted for 3 turns. Very powerful move right here. The modifier could be a little bit higher. I think I'd like that, but still, she's got a lot of damage dealing ranged options in her main job. The thing it lacks is a big diamond AoE, but it does have a square AoE. It has like the next best thing right there. If you run her sub job, she has a multi-hit slowing attack, which could be really strong for PvE chaining. She also has a 3-hit attack in here, so there's definitely PvE chaining options with her crystalline archer sub job. Ranger sub has a couple things in it. One, you don't need sharpshoot, right? She has a better version of it, so you could just forget about that. It does, however, give her a single target resistance debuff for 3 turns, 25. For PvP, this could be very powerful, especially with that 220% mod. Single target resist stacking is a very real thing. If you want your Shadow Lynx to be nothing but a ranger unit, I think you run this sub, and then this is her hardest hitting move, especially with that debuff on it. I think you run this and let her just pop off and deal a lot of single target damage. However, if you want to give her another damage option, you can go Axe Knight for slashing damage, and this girl can turn into a bruiser for you you real fast. And that might seem weird, but pair her with the Veritas of Water in the future and all those buffs she has coming. Keep her kind of slowed down, let her buff, let her walk forward a little bit, then let her jump in and start pounding with Axe Knight. That could be a build for her. Now, why do I say that? She has Fighting Battle Axe technique. This is a 7,500 HP physical damage shield that also gives her 40% attack and 25% agility. I love this buff. I think this buff is top of the line. I love this thing. Sure, it's nice she has counter off slashing move, but the modifier's not big there. Then she has a jump into the middle of everybody's slashing move that increases AP consumption on the targets. I like both these moves, and I like giving her a slashing attack option. So really, you have a chance here to be all range, you have a chance here to be slashing and range with anti-physical, and you have an option here for PvE. She does a lot of things. She's not a 100 cost unit either. She's a 70 cost unit. She's a cost limited potential person, which is one of the reasons I want to really build her on my new account. Okay, that talks about her AP recovery a little bit there. Here's her limit break. So it's another AoE option. It's just a small cross-shaped AoE, but it has a nice long range of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 7 that will be extended by any range buffs you put on her. This decreases AoE resist by 50 for 3 turns for the targets. Huge. Huge. She has single target resist down and AoE resist down in her kit. That's really nice. 200% damage and does 200% chance physical damage reduction 20%, 200% chance magic damage reduction. She debuffs the damage that the enemies will do to her that she hits with this limit break. There's a lot in this kit. I think it's another really good 70 cost unit, and I'm happy to be featuring her on my new account. Now, couple things that she's missing, if we're going to talk about that. She does not have a bunch of missile attack resist penetration, so you might want to find some more of that somewhere. And she's also only sitting at 40 defense pin. Her bow, the Evening Star bow, which we can farm, helps. It gives you another 20 defense penetration. I still think you're going to want to find more from like a Trust Stone or something like that to get her near that 80 number, and then it will also give her a little more damage and some initial AP. I think this is probably a must-play bow. You're still, like, if people stack missile resist though, she might be in a little bit of trouble, right? You're gonna, like, I don't know where you're gonna get missile resist, maybe from a piece of gear, like there's the UR coat from raids that I believe gives missile attack resist penetration. You might think about that on her, then you're getting a little more defense pin and missile attack pin, or from Trust Stones, something like that. Either way, very excited to be pulling for her, maybe on both accounts, but at least on my new player account, so I can feature her a little bit as a new player, see how that works out. Okay, that's the preview video for her. Thank you all for watching. And hey, I want to mention, anytime you guys shop for something on Amazon, I really appreciate it if you click that Amazon link I have. Costs you nothing. You just get the same Amazon you always get, but it really does help my channel out. It is by far the easiest way to support my channel. I just need to record a little advertisement that I run at the end of my videos or something, but I would love to hit those Amazon milestones and get that, you know, flat fee. That really helps me pay the bills, y'all. So I appreciate your help in that, and I appreciate y'all just for watching my videos. Thank y'all. Have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.